Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we are diving into two really key parts of our digital lives. First, how we share our ideas with the world, and second, how we can understand the amazing machines that make it all happen.
I mean, who hasn't been there, right? You've got a deadline and you're either staring at a blank presentation or your computer just gives up. Well, if you've ever felt that frustration, you are in exactly the right place. The fixes are way simpler than you think.
So let's kick things off by talking about these skills. It's all about connecting how we communicate with the actual tools we're using every single day.
Think about it like this. We're going to cover both the what, the actual message you're trying to get across, and the how, the machine that brings that message to life. And let me tell you, when you get both of those right, it is an absolute game changer.
First up, let's talk about making great slides. The big goal here is simple. We want to move past those boring walls of text. We're aiming for slides that look professional, are crystal clear, and actually keep your audience hooked, instead of, watching their eyes glaze over.
We have all seen the slide on the left. It's a nightmare, a huge wall of text that nobody can possibly read. The solution? It's the 4x4 rule. Look at the right. It's so simple. A maximum of 4 bullet points with a max of 4 words each. This one little rule forces you to be clear, to be concise, and to get right to the point.
All right, next up, images. We've all seen those stretched out, squished photos in a presentation, and they just look awful. Here's the secret, the one thing to remember. Always resize from a corner. That keeps everything looking just right. Then you can use the alignment tools to snap it all into place for that super clean, professional look. This same idea of being strategic applies to all your visuals. They aren't just there to look pretty. You've got to match the visual to your message. So if you're explaining a sequence of steps, use a process diagram. Showing the structure of your company, use a hierarchy chart. The whole point is to have the design help your message, not distract from it. Okay, so you've built this amazing presentation. You're ready to go, but what happens when you hit present and your computer just starts chugging along? To figure that out, we've got to pop the hood and look at the hardware that's doing all the work, the CPU, RAM, and storage. Now, this right here is the most important analogy to get. If you understand this, everything else just clicks into place. Just think of it like this. The CPU is the computer's brain. It does all the thinking. The RAM is its short-term memory, kind of like what's on your mind right now. And storage, that's the long-term memory, where everything gets saved for later.
Let's dig into the CPU for a second. This really is the engine of your computer. When you hear people talk about a fast computer versus a slow one, a lot of the time they're really talking about the CPU speed. It directly affects how fast your computer can think and do what you tell it to do.
Okay, what about RAM, your short-term memory? You know that feeling when you have like 20 browser tabs open, you're streaming some music, and you're trying to type in a document and everything just stops? Yeah, that's your RAM getting overwhelmed. Having more RAM is like having a bigger desk. You can spread out way more stuff at once without it all getting cluttered and slow.
And finally, we have storage. This is your computer's permanent filing cabinet. Every single thing, your documents, photos, all your programs, even the operating system itself, it all lives here. When you save a file and shut down your computer, storage is what makes sure it's waiting for you when you turn it back on.
So, why do we even need to know the difference between all these parts? Well, it's because everything we do on our computers puts a different kind of demand on them. It's not just tech for tech's sake, it's about matching the tool to the job. Let's see what that actually looks like.
This is a perfect real-world example. Editing video is a really demanding task. And you can see that direct connection right here. The CPU, the brain, is working overtime, and the RAM, the short-term memory, is totally maxed out. This is exactly why having a more powerful computer can take that 12-minute wait and make it so much faster.
And this chart really puts it all into perspective. Just writing an email, your computer barely breaks a sweat. That's very low resource use. Streaming a high-def movie? Okay, it's using a bit more. But then you get to high-end gaming or video editing, and boom, those tasks are just eating up huge amounts of memory and processing power. Understanding this helps you pick the right machine for what you actually do. Okay, so we've covered how to design awesome slides, and we get what's going on inside our computers. So what? How does this actually translate to the real world? Well, it turns out these are basically career superpowers, no matter what field you're in. I mean, just look at this. A project manager can use smart visuals to sell an idea. A marketer can use that 4x4 rule to create a really persuasive pitch. An IT pro can use our brain analogy to help someone understand why their computer is slow. These skills are things you can use tomorrow.
So you see, this isn't just some abstract classroom stuff. Being the person in the room who can not only communicate your ideas clearly, but also understands the technology you're using to do it, that gives you a huge advantage. You just become more efficient, more effective, and way more valuable.
So I want to leave you with this one last thought. When your computer starts to lag, or when you feel your presentation isn't quite connecting with the audience, that's your technology talking to you. It's giving you feedback. The real question is, now that you know what to listen for, are you ready to listen?